Welcome to Focus Today. We have an interesting discussion about culture, who's making the decisions, who is at the table of decision making, and perhaps who should be. Our guest is Mei Norton, and I'll tell you, Lisa, your title is quite diverse. Let me tell our listeners and viewers that you are a retired Air Force Senior Master Sergeant. You're also a CEO of a music company. Now, we normally don't think of those two coming together, so I want to hear a little bit more about that. But you're CEO of BigDawg Music Mafia, which is a free social networking site, and also with BigDawg Music Radio, a columnist for Breitbart.com. There's a whole story right there, I think, too, how you got involved in that. And Smart Girl Nation magazine. Give me, with this diverse background, what is the concern you have? Because I get the idea that you think some people are not at the table of influence that should be there. And perhaps Christians have been at fault for not stepping up to the plate. Is that right?
Absolutely, and thank you so much for having me on your show today and giving us the opportunity to spread our message, which is that based on the 2012 elections, it's clear that a lot of people stayed home. A lot more people stayed home than should have, and we believe that the left has been very successful in dominating the narrative, both in the mainstream media as well as in our pop culture. When you have movie stars and celebrities basically telling people that the president and first lady are like our boss and our mom and dad of the country, and that if they say something, we should listen, that's kind of scary. And when you have another celebrity saying, referring, in my opinion, it was blasphemy to refer to the president as our Lord and Savior. But the problem is that because the left owns Hollywood and the music industry, pretty much, they own all the big studios, they own the record labels, they get to control the message. And we conservatives and we Christians, we've allowed that to happen over the past several decades. And so clearly there's a lot of what you're hearing a lot of people refer to as low information voters.
I think of the Hollywood scenario you're playing out, and I think you're right. Sometimes the stereotypes are correct. It does seem to be highly left. I know there's some people in there who are trying to make a difference. It wasn't always that way, because I think of some actors, and you think of Charlton Heston as of, I suppose, the last 20 years or so, who was saying, it doesn't have to be this agenda-driven thing. How did we get to this state where we have these celebrities who seem to be creating the agenda, at least that they put in our face?
Well, the people with the deep pockets are unfortunately mostly Democrats, and they want funding from our government to subsidize their industries, and they're getting them. There's a lot of crony capitalism going on, and because they do own the major entertainment networks and studios, those who work in the industry, the actors, the filmmakers, the producers, directors, all the way down to the cameramen and women and the whole crew, they're afraid to let their political leanings be known because they're afraid of losing their jobs.
This is almost like an anti-McCarthyism. It's like a switch back the actual opposite direction of what we saw in the 50s that's going on now, is what you're saying.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there is even a secret organization. I mean, there's a group called Friends of Abe that apparently has quite a large number of members, but the list of members is secret, because these are all conservative Republicans who don't want their identities to be known. Now, there are some that have come out of the closet. It's sad when you have to come out of the conservative or Christian closet, but unfortunately that's the way it is. So BigDawg Music Mafia, our goal is to try to turn that around. We're trying to build a community of Christians, libertarians, conservatives who are proud of our country, not ashamed to say that they love the Lord, not ashamed to say that they're pro-Constitution, and give them a place where they can be heard, where their music, their art, their films, their books, their blogs, radio shows, you name it, we're providing them a venue, a platform at BigDawg Music Mafia and BigDawg Music Radio.
Well, are you saying that without this kind of a venue that you're creating, they are being censored?
Yes. Well, not. I don't know if censored is the word. They're not having doors opened willingly to them. We've had many artists who in their own communities are surrounded by liberals who are not very friendly to them when their political leanings become known, or they don't want to hear about God. They don't want to hear about, the American flag. They don't want to hear anything patriotic, and really we're not saying that all these artists need to be writing songs about politics or patriotism. We're saying that support artists who are talented, who happen to be Christian, who happen to be conservative or libertarian, so that their names become household names. And they're the ones whose messages now will be heard by the quote unquote low information voters, instead of a bunch of celebrities getting on a video demanding a plan for gun control.
Now, with the way that we've seen how music is being distributed, films also as well, I mean, we saw where Kickstarter.com now was the first way in which an Academy Award-winning documentary was able to be funded. We've never seen that before, through just people donating to it. Are you finding that this is a good time to be able to make that possibility for music and films being made, because the networks and Hollywood doesn't necessarily have that stranglehold on the market like it used to?
Exactly. Thank God for new media. The internet has opened so many doors. It's enabled us to do what we're doing at BigDawg, having a social site, having an internet radio station, being able to do radio shows. And the membership at BigDawg Music Mafia, they feel like they found a home, a place where they can share their craft without getting torn apart, like on places like the bigger places like YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that. But yes, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, there's all kinds of different, rally.com, there's all these different sites popping up where people can fund their own projects. And it depends on how well you market your project and how attractive you make it on whether or not you generate the interest, the buzz, to get the funding that you need.
Now, it's obvious by what you're talking about that you are in the throes of this. You're kind of seeing this every day, this kind of, I wouldn't call it a battle, but this dilemma that you want to see resolved. Do you find a lot of Christians kind of look at you a little glazed-eyed, wondering, what are you talking about here? Or do you find that they understand this and they just haven't known what to do?
Well, there is already a great market out there for Christian music, thank God. There's Christian radio, there's your network, there's it's not so much the Christians who are having a hard time getting on, getting some airplay, getting on labels and things like that, because there is a huge market out there. It's the whole conservative. It's because our nation's more divided today, I would argue, than it has been in decades. Because of this current administration. They're dividing us along religious lines, racial lines, gender lines, class, the ruling class versus the worker class. We're very divided. And so because of that, the conservatives are having a harder time getting their message out to the terrestrial stations and your traditional platforms. So we're making use of new school marketing.
All right, let's say a conservative comes to you and says, I'm a filmmaker, I'm a musician, and I need to get this message out. I think this is terrific. I got a great product, but nobody's watching it, listening to it, whatever it is. What can you actually do to help them?
Well, fortunately, because BigDawg Music Mafia was at CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference, in 2011, I had the good fortune of meeting John Nolte, who was the editor-in-chief at Big Hollywood, which was one of the Breitbart big sites. And I happened to be on a panel that a friend of mine, Kevin McKeever, set me up to be on, called Getting Started in Hollywood. And I told him I had no experience in Hollywood, but he thought it would be good to have somebody from a music angle approach the audience. And after the panel, Mr. Nolte, John Nolte, the editor at Big Hollywood, invited me to become a columnist at Breitbart.com and write about the arts and the members at BigDawg Music Mafia, filmmakers, we actually have some very talented filmmakers on our site. In fact, tonight, Stephen K. Bannon, the #2 man, the executive chairman at Breitbart.com, who is also the CEO of Victory Film Group, the one who did the Sarah Palin documentary, The Undefeated. He did Generation Zero. He did Fire from the Heartland, and he did Andrew Breitbart's last movie, Occupy Unmasked. He's going to be a guest on one of our shows tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, called Let's Talk with Ed and Molly. So we're excited about that. And we're a small community now, but our intent is to grow the community. The more people that know about us, the more artists will feel like they've found a home, a place where we will showcase their work for free using all of our other social sites. We've got BigDawg TV, BigDawg Music Radio. We've got our radio shows. We have the ability to write about it at Breitbart.com, and we have our own blog bites at BigDawg Music Radio. And our followers are growing by the day, and it's getting there. It's a slow climb, but we've got faith.
Well, let me ask you, in 5 or 10 years, based on what you want to do here, how do you want the picture to be seen? What will we see from a media standpoint for the conservative message getting out that you're talking about?
Well, we're hoping that we make it so that conservative is once again considered cool, because we have been put in a box. When people think about conservative arts or artists, especially musicians, they think, oh, it's all just a bunch of country singers or Christian singers. No, we at BigDawg Music Mafia, we've got everything from hip hop to heavy metal to Celtic music to folk music, pop music. We got it all. And what we're trying to show people is that, yes, we conservatives, even though we do work hard, we have a lot of other talent that God has given us, and we're using them. And we're trying to encourage, and hopefully encourage, some of the bigger name conservative artists to join in the basically join in the fight, because this really is a fight for our country.
What is a good website for people to go to find out more information about this, since you're diversified in quite a few different places?
Well, BigDawgMusicMafia.com is the sort of the central place where members can join. It's free to join. You set up your own profile page. You can add your website links. You can upload your music videos from YouTube, your MP3s. Everybody has their own music player on their page. And then we feature the music on our homepage as well as on our radio station, which is running 24/7. We also feature the songs on our 4 weekly radio shows, and we're about to have 2 more new radio shows. Cool. One of them called Salt and Light, because Sarah Palin said that culture is the key influencer in society, and we are to be salt and light.
All right. Great.
We believe that.
Good. Thanks for being with us. Lisa Mei Norton with BigDawg Music Mafia. You can go to their website, BigDawgMusicMafia.com.